I want to talk about something, and this subject has been on my mind on and off, and I never thought about talking about it. But I was listening to somebody, and it made me want to talk about this now. And this is a person who was talking about how his female friend, he likes to protect her. He is his co-host, and he protects her from certain things because she's sensitive, and he wants to protect her from that, and of course you say, some people are protective like that, but I don't want to talk about that situation. That is the reason that made me want to talk about how a lot of people are told not to be too sensitive and told to have thick skin. Here's the thing, everybody cannot have thick skin because everybody is different. Everybody can't be a Killer, and everybody can't be a Lover. So it's like you can't tell everybody to have thick skin. And the problem with sometimes when people think they having thick skin, it's not really thick skin. It's things that are kind of buried, that's undealt with, and it just comes back, it loops back around to come back to knock you in the butt. But I want to talk about constantly having thick skin, to me, in my opinion, creates a lack of compassion. And for me, the lack of sensitivity is the reason why people have no compassion towards one another. But really, to be honest with you, this is another thing though. Because you have to be sensitive not only towards your own feelings, you have to be sensitive towards other people's feelings too. You do have to care about other people's feelings. So you're taught not to care so much, and you're taught to have all this thick skin. You're creating a cold world. I remember seeing a doggone movie, Ghostbusters, The Ice Age. What is it, The Ice Age? And then I looked at the Godzilla and Kong, and about how this particular reptile was being controlled by her pain. Okay? And it just makes me feel like you turn the world cold like that. It becomes snow. Oh yeah, the Antarctica. And why it's snow. I already know the thing with Antarctica, what they call Antarctica. I already know the whole story, and not because of something I read, it's because of my awareness that's coming back. Not because of something that somebody wrote in a book. Because I might come from those areas. I might be in those areas right now because I know I'm not really sitting where I think I'm sitting. My consciousness is projected over here like this is an illusion right now. So I know this is not where I really am. So the real me, I know where it is. A part of the real me. I know where it is. Because I also know that I'm inside of a simulation, and the human part of me is somewhere else inside this little building. And I've seen what it looked like. I've seen the lights, I've seen it look like some kind of laboratory. I've seen that. I've seen a lot of different aspects of myself as a human, and I've seen myself as before all of this was kind of created. And that part of me I know is, in the area that they call it. But see, this is a virtual reality. So Antarctica is not in the location where they're showing you on television, because it's also inside the simulation. And the real Antarctica is outside the simulation, and it might not be called Antarctica, but it is a lot of snow because of the coldness. Because people's love was, or not just people, not people, but love was taken for granted. And there's a lot of pain, and there's not a coldness. And coldness pretty much took over. And so, I ain't gonna say too much more about that. But this is a lot of things I say, it's because my awareness is coming back. It's not because somebody else wrote it in a book. It might be in a book. It might be in the book, because just as well as my awareness is coming back, there is somebody else who knows the whole story. There is somebody else who knows the whole story as my awareness comes back, but I don't know who it is. So when I say these things, it's just my awareness coming back. And if I find it in the book, it's going to cost about $5,000 or more. Okay? I want to talk about that. And people keep saying, stop being so sensitive. See, people are often encouraged to stop being so sensitive. But why aren't people told to stop being, a-holes? Why aren't people told to stop being so mean? Why aren't people told to stop being so nasty? Well, I know why. Because coldness and viciousness has dominated. Viciousness has dominated. Coldness has dominated. Criminality has dominated. So now what you have to do is just learn to be careful. Ruthlessness has dominated. It has dominated the universe. That's why people just say, oh, stop being so sensitive. Or, when something happens, oh, you got to be more careful. When young ladies go out and something happens to them and they get attacked by maybe a group of men or whatever, or, just some men get shot in broad daylight. Or when somebody goes to shoot up a doggone supermarket in the daytime. Somebody goes in a church and decides to shoot up a bunch of people inside of a church. You're told that you just be careful. No, wait a minute. See, now you're giving too much room to the criminals. How can you be careful when people are inside of a church and they get shot? He was like, yeah, they shouldn't be going to church. They shouldn't be believing in that. Well, whatever. Are people getting shot up in mosques? But you go into the supermarket in the daytime, people get shot up. How do you be careful? See, the only way to be careful is to really be 100% in your intuition. But your intuition has to be sharp. And how does your intuition get sharp? You got to cut out all the mess around you. That's why I don't like to look at the news. I don't have friends. I don't have anybody in my ear. I don't even take my family's phone calls. I don't want anybody in my ear when I'm starting to learn how to communicate with my real authentic self, the real me. And you got somebody in your ear that ain't there yet. And they giving you, they bring this confusion to you because they confused. It's not that they a bad person. They confuse themselves. Now, some people are bad folks and they do it on purpose, but in a lot of cases, they ain't doing it on purpose. They're agents, but they don't realize they're agents. They're being used because they don't have, they think their thoughts are their own and their thoughts are not their own. Because if your thoughts were your own, you would be aware of all things. The fact that you can't be aware of all things, all of your thoughts can't be your own. They're fed to you. And that's why I say people are agents, because they don't realize that they're not the ones that's saying those things. They don't realize they're not the ones that's thinking those things. There's something else that's controlling them. But see, that's another thing. Back to what I was saying. That's another thing. You have to be careful. Stop being so sensitive. Like you keep giving room to ruthlessness, to viciousness, to coldness, to just mean spirits. You just keep. When I say you, I can say we, but I don't want to give room to that anymore. So I stopped saying we because I've chosen not to give any more room to that. I chose that needs to go, right? Because if it's not who you are, it's not who you are. I'm going to say this. The real love is coming back, not the brother love. The real love is coming back. But during the process that it comes back, everybody ain't going to be saved. Because people will have to be in the proper alignment. It's not like, let me just say, the mother is coming back to, she's coming back. I'm not talking about the great mother. I'm not talking about a human being. I'm not talking about a person. I'm not talking about somebody that physically looks like a woman. Because to be honest with you, a lot of women ain't gonna make it. A lot of physical looking women are not gonna make it. So it has nothing to do with a physical appearance. Okay. But the great mother is coming back. And she's coming back online. And things are gonna go back into harmony and balance. And she's gonna bring herself back into harmony and balance. Okay? And all of that coldness and that ruthlessness and that viciousness is going out the door. And that's why I myself, knowing what time it is, that I have chosen to not give room for those type of things, even in my life. Not to give room to it. I can't give room to it. I can't give space to it. Okay. Now, when you talk about have tough skin, I can understand not letting somebody ruin your day. You don't want anybody to control you. Okay, I get that. Like, you don't want anybody to control you, so you don't want somebody to say something to you and it's still on your mind a week or two later. Okay. Because that person can control you, and I get that, but at the same time, words can hurt folks, and that's what gets on my nerves, is that you don't want to let people control you. But at the same time, self-love also includes consequences for that type of stuff right there. That type of energy needs to go. So yeah, I don't want to control me, but at the same time, that type of stuff don't need to keep happening either, because that means I have to keep putting up with it over and over and over and over again, because I keep giving room to these kind of energies. That type of stuff needs to go, and the universe is purging that type of behavior. But I just felt like talking about that really quickly, and I will talk later.